to me, you can choose whatever you want. If you still want to come to something like iPhone 8 Plus, because 8 Plus is in my 7 Plus, and I just like X because to me it's the perfect phone size. Of all phones I've seen, iPhone X is the perfect phone size. So yeah, we'll be using this for our wireframing. So one of the first things I'm going to start with is splash screen. Most splash screens are usually with the company's logo. Let me do that again. I want you to look at what happened there. So when I selected the phone, just keep your eye on the layer. You see the frame was added to the layer, and the properties here changed. I told you as you select elements, the properties change. So when I double click to rename, just name it splash screen. It's always a good thing to name your layers. You don't want to be confusing someone else. So as you can see, this the layer splash screen is already added to our layers. So we are going to start wireframing. So on the splash screen, it's usually mostly the company's logo that is on it. But for the sake of wireframing, we'll just be using like boxes and rectangles, gray rectangles. You're not doing so much. You're just trying to show your stakeholders what you're thinking. You're just trying to like put your thoughts down before you invest so much time in colors, typography, and other stuff. So using a great rectangle, I like my rectangles rounded for some reasons. Just make it rounded a little bit and square. 200. Use the properties panel to manipulate my. It's a little bit too big. My rectangle. So that's its full screen. Usually with the company logo and the company name. Will represent some sort of text representing our company name. Just basic stuff. And there are some plugins that actually help you with wireframing in Figma that makes it more, maybe I don't want to say, maybe, I don't want to say more interesting, but I do really like them, and I do want to like introduce you to plugins, at least for people that don't really know what plugins have to explain what plugins are and just confuse you thinking it's only true you can do yourself. So, so that's our company and our company logo and our company name. So move on to like an onboarding screen. I press Ctrl G to duplicate my screen. So it's not magic, it's just shortcuts. There are a lot of Figma shortcuts, and if you notice, there are my layers have been populated. And let me open my splash screen layer. Let me delete this one. Layer more. When I open this, you can see the first rectangle is in the layer and the second rectangle is in the layer. So let me color this one. I want to show you something. Let me make it like a red color so you understand what layers are. So as you can see, this red one, this first rectangle, let me make it red. Let me make it. So you can see the gray is below the red. So if I push the red up, you can see the layer. If I bring it below the layer, it's going to go under it, so you can't see the red again because the red is under the layer. So that's like layer is a very useful tool in all kind of design tools, all kinds. Well, I can speak for Photoshop and Illustrator. I don't know about CorelDRAW, guys. So changing it back to gray. I just did that to illustrate four layers.
Timothy, there's a question, Timothy.
All right. What's the question?
From
Cool.
Olaoluwa. Your hand is up. There be a question? Can I ask a question if you can unmute and ask Olaoluwa? I can't see your full name on my screen. Do you have a question? Or is your hand just up? Okay, I'm assuming it's just a mistake. I'll lower your hand. Listen, you can carry on. Sorry.
All right. Cool. No problem. So yeah, I think that does justice to layers. Sometimes designs are comprised of complex components, and layers is very important in stacking them. You want this to be up, you don't want this to be down. You want, like, basic stuff. On to the let's see my slide. Sign up screen. So for the pizza app, when we were thinking about it, we don't really need too much information from the user. I mean, it's not it's just basic information like the person's name and the person's phone number, so you can always log in every time and time again. Told you about mood boarding. You can just like check, look at what previous other designs. This one I saw it. I don't know, it's not so close to me. Let me find it in my slide here. I like the way they did stuff here. It was just so simple, and I just like this one. You know, you can download applications to just get a sense of their onboarding. Just, I mean, you're a designer. Just look at stuff. I mean, that's what makes you better when you're looking at stuff. Great designs makes you better, actually. You know. So I like this. I like this one too. I really like this one too. Yeah, we just choose one to use. So I told you can be very detailed in your all depending on you. So you could use text, maybe like number, then this represents a text box. So an input view. So you just want the person's phone number, end button, the send looking button. One of the first issue people that start when you just start in design, and I had it myself too. It's I've seen it to happen a lot and a lot of times with many designers. Starting the issue is the issue of hierarchy, and people have a lot of issues like when you start in design, you have a lot of issues like that. I've seen it happen time and time again. So one of the best ways to solve it, someone advised me once, was to redesign an application. Maybe like pick your best application. Maybe because one of my best applications is both, and I liked Instagram too. Just pick it and redesign it. The reason why he told me that if you pick it and redesign it, you'll be able to see you when you begin to redesign it, you understand why some buttons are smaller than some not some buttons, some text are smaller than some icons are smaller than some you just begin to understand it because you are picking it detail by detail. So just pick your best application and redesign it. You will find out that you are having to make something smaller and smaller and smaller. But if you did it on your own, you have made it really big, and it will just be blocking everybody's face. So if that's advice for someone, just pick your best and redesign it. So as you can see, this is sort of like a text box and our decent looking button. So when you like type in your 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 phone number, you click next, you know, then a verification link, verification screen. By wireframe, you are not doing so much. You are just trying to make your stakeholders, just bring your stakeholders on board just to see what is going on, like so they can like so if there's need to change anything, you've not like invested and wasted your time on the full design, and this usually doesn't take long. A lot of iterations go into design, so you can quickly iterate over it, like, oh no, let's do this like this, let's put this before this, you know yeah. So you write your phone number, is usually 4 text boxes. From here, I think you can even get an idea of what is going on here. Like, I mean, basically understand what is going on here. Like, it's simple to understand. Verify. Should I call this screen? I should call it verification. And click on next. Next is the home page. So home page, the home page is next. So for the home page, have navigation. Have navigation that's for home baskets and profile. So for home basket and profile, so we are creating a new so these three guys here represent our navigation. So let me get a line across like this. Represent our navigation. It's a little bit too big. So we represent our navigation. We represent our home. End of the day, they may choose not to put the text. Let's just leave it there. The navigation was home basket profile. So home basket profile. Under homes, we have delivery as pickup, menu, deals, menu, and deals. So we have three sections on our home. Think of it. So as you can see now, we are like at the point where we need to think like, okay, this delivery and pickup was like you can choose for it to be delivered by like a delivery guy, or you can have yourself go pick it up at your nearest store close to you. So it's like to me it's like a binary. Is it that you select like a radio button, is it that this or that? And there are conditions when you select this or you select that. So I just thought it to be look at the way it was done in Dodo Pizza. you can either select delivery or at the restaurant. But for me, I'm going to make it look like a radio button like this. And I may, a radio button. If you look at this was my sketch. I was just thinking of it. Okay, it could be a radio button, select this, select that, and yeah, it could be a radio button. I was just thinking it could be a radio button instead of making it look like this, you know, you know. And I may show my stakeholder and he's like, no, I don't like the radio button. But as at that time, I've not like invested so much time designing a very fantastic radio button. I mean, if you go to Dribble or you see very nice radio button inspirations or basic radio buttons for like mobile applications. When you can already see my like what I'm trying to say from the beginning. Like, oh no, don't do it like that. It's so basic. It's not looking nice. So this is just what I'll do for now. When you pick up or deliver, there are some other the address or you choose your nearest store close to you. So it's just you can choose to be very detailed in your wireframe and you can choose to just leave it very busy. And yeah, have deals. I think deals is where like top deals right now. Like you really want your users to see it when they first enter the application. And Dodo Pizza has really done a nice job in presenting it. So something like this is what I also had in mind presenting. So don't be scared to look at what has already been designed to get your inspiration from for your design because at the end of the day, what you're most likely doing, someone else has already done it. You know, just go there and get inspiration. Not necessarily copying them back to back, but you can just get a little bit of insights from them. You can do some things they didn't do well better. As you can see, it's really making sense. Like you can just feel the application flow. Yeah, you can just see like you can see it even if they're not really horizontal sliding stuff. Horizontal sliding stuff. Then we have the meals, right? Meals, the menu, right? The menu. The menu. If you were given this stuff to design, you may have designed it somewhat different from the way I did it, and it's absolutely fine. And just you may make better design decisions than me. I may make better design decisions than you. And at the end of the day, you are like trying to build a product, especially when you're working in a team. It's not a competition. You're trying to build a product and not fight. Some people get really personal when their designs are being criticized. Well, it depends on the person that's being criticized. That's criticizing you. You may not be constructive and just choose to say things anyhow. You know, yeah. Sometimes when your design is being criticized, it's just so that the product is good. It's not to attack your personality. So these are like some things that you begin to face when you start designing mainstream. So yeah, one of the things I used to say is that learn to remove yourself from your work, detach yourself from your work. It's always hard. Like everybody, don't let me speak for everybody. Let me speak for myself. At some point, it's like hard. Like when someone is like, "Who is this guy? Is it like trying to attack me personally?" But he just wants the design to be really good at the end of the day. So for our menu, I think we should have a little text here that says what we are. It's like a little bit of text representing a text here, the name of the menu. So this is like where the product image will be shown. Text. I'm trying to represent text with just the price. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, I think it's gradually making sense. You can see the order of the application. Like you can just gradually see.
Sorry, Fortune. Timothy, can you hear me? Timothy.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a pause here and let's know if people are following because a lot of silent lines like a very complex.
So all
There's
right.
no where everybody's at right now. So you guys that are on the call, um, can you just chat? Let me know if you're following. Just let me know if you have a question. Raise your hand if you're not following. So let's know what's that. So it's like we're here for you guys. For us, going through. Okay, Femi, people are raising up their hands. So they see what we're doing now. I think that's the way we work right now. Is if you have a question midway or you're lost or anything, just raise up your hand during so that we can always pause and ask and like we can go through it, right? So let's start with Femi. Femi, what's the question? You can meet and ask Femi.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I can.
So I guess this class will be sent to us as a video so that we can practice along the way he's doing it. Because the way he's doing it now, we couldn't, I personally I couldn't follow it here through my laptop. Do you understand? So if this class can be recorded well and we can get the video so that we can re-practice what he's doing for us now. And you should try and Mr. Timothy should try and speak louder a little because I can't even hear him very well concerning the design. So we are just enjoying the flow. I'm enjoying the flow actually. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Femi. Then Benjamin, your question too. You guys have a question, just raise up your hand so we can know who's asking questions. Benjamin, can ask a question, you can unmute, please, so we can know what's up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Hello,
Can you hear me?
Good afternoon. The problem is I can't. Like it's not loud. That's like main reason. I'm raising my hand.
I'll try to speak louder.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Okay, I
hear
said
you.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you, Benjamin. Then Mr. Oshibu, you can ask a question. Your hand was up. Okay, your hand is down now. The Abigail, what's the question, please? Can I meet and ask?
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so some of the UI like tutorial videos I've watched, or at least one that I watched, they recommended using like using grids in like the design and stuff. So I don't know if you would recommend using grids because they are not using it now. So would you recommend we use it or we not use it, or it depends on us to decide whether we want to use it or not?
Okay, that's a very good question. Grids are like the best thing. Like if you yeah, you should use grids. I didn't just use grids because it's not the final application. It's just wireframe, just to give you, and maybe because I'm already like used to, and I just know when to stop and when to put stuff. But as a beginner, you have a lot of problem. So yes, use grids, please. Please use grids. But because it's wireframe, that's why I didn't use grids here. You know. And again, there's a lot of debate about grids. Should I use 12? Should I use 8? So that's why I didn't do it. But yes, please use grids. It helps a lot in arranging stuffs and just having it helps in arranging stuff and just having. So yeah, please use grids. Please do.
Okay, so please, if you are doing the final design, are you going to? Do you plan on using them or not?
All right, I will be the one teaching the final design, but I'll speak with him and I'll ensure that they use grids so that you just have be able to understand it. But the thing is that the grid the person may use may be different from the grid you watch on your tutorial video. But yeah, you just have the idea of grids just to make stuff placed and centered properly and arranged properly. Grids are really good. Yeah, I will speak with the person that is doing it and he will use grids.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your feedback, Mr. Femi. Thank you for your feedback also. I'll try to speak louder and yeah, I think we'll move on now. So
Okay, I'm assuming those are all the questions that we have. So if you have any questions, guys, just ask midway. I think from what I'm noticing that they're not really sharing Timothy. That's one. I know he's going to work on that. So I'm trying to change the spaces. Secondly is
all right.
I think the pace is what I'm complaining about again. Right. So maybe Timothy, maybe as you're going through the frames, can you just reiterate the commands as you're going through each and everything you're doing, and maybe go like a very reasonable pace, like maybe no one knows where you're typing, maybe or where you're pressing as well. So that could also help them out. So for people that also watch the recording later on, they can know what they are seeing when they watch the recording as well. Can we do that?
Okay. Yeah, sure, sure. All right. Uh, I've used a lot of commands here, but I don't know. A lot of shortcuts here, but trying to do everything really manually. So think every tool I use rather. When you select one, I like duplicating from my previous page because there will be a lot of elements to pick from. So you press the Alt button and you drag the frame like that, or you can just press it and press Ctrl D, it like that. One you like. So um, we are working on when you click on one pizza, what do you see? Yeah. So selecting one, I press Shift to select multiple design elements, maybe rectangles or if you don't want it again. If I group this layer, you can see it became a group. I grouped it with Control G. You can ungroup it with Control Shift. I wanted it because they are the same thing. That's why I grouped them. So Control Shift G will make me ungroup them and just look at the layer. Look at what happens when I group them. They all scatter. They're not together again. Look at this one is grouped. You can see it's the way it is. This one is ungrouped. You see the way it is. So just look at the layer again as I ungroup it. Yeah, I don't need this. Um, wireframing the single page. Um, Again, sometimes people don't really like invest so much time in wireframing. They just go straight into designing the application mainstream. And well, because of sometimes some projects don't like some projects, you may not have time to like be doing wireframing, and they just want to see it. So some people just don't waste time wireframing or don't spend time wireframing. But like if you're working on a case study, people want to see how you think and how you came up with solutions. And wireframing is one of the best ways to show that you were thinking through the process rather. So here is like the pizza name. When you select one, that name, I think after this one I'll just go to the prototyping because we may not be able to wireframe the whole application. You can try to just play with it around when you watch the video, just wireframe the remaining part of the application using this flow. Just wireframe it yourself. Play with it and play around with it yourself. So these are like some descriptions of the pizza. It has this kind of it has this ingredient inside of it. It has this ingredient inside of it. Mm. So what else? What else? What else am I trying to yeah, drop downs, some basic drop downs. Like if you want this kind of topping, this kind of this thing, you're just remember you're just trying to show the flow and the icon here. Icon. One of the icon packs I like using to just show the drop down. Well, I may not necessarily need to use an icon. I can just use the I may not to pen tool. I select it and I click. I want to get a good 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 45. Depending on what I want. I think I want a 45 degrees here. When you hold the shift down, you can't do that. So it's just showing like a basic drop down. And I want to have the color, the gray color I've been using since. With more stroke. Yeah. Done with the pencil. And I can hold Alt down, click and drag to duplicate it. So I just wanted to show that it's a drop down, so not looking like the normal text box. That's why I decided to do this. But with this is an icon. This representing an icon. So there are a lot of icon packs. If you are like when you start now, with a lot of free resources.
Hello, we can't hear you. Can't hear you.
So we have some questions here. Timothy, can you hear me?
No, we just can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Okay, they can't hear you. Okay, Timothy, can you hear? Can you?
I don't think he's on the call
Yeah, I don't think he's on the
right
call.
now.
Let me try and reach him here.
Sorry, I got disconnected. My internet died. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got disconnected. My internet died because I had to find a good position. So yeah, I was talking about the icon pack I like most. Um, so it's called Ion Icons. Well, there are lots and lots and tons and tons and tons of icon packs on the internet. This is one I like most. I could have easily come here to download the drop down as an SVG and just use it. So as I was saying, as a newbie designer, you should leverage on a lot of free resources. But when you're like getting pretty standard, you may want to like design it yourself or maybe buy from a icon designer. Like I mean, there are people that are icon designers, and you're buying from an icon designer because you want to be distinct from every other person. Because anybody can come here and pick this icon packs, but this is not what Google uses. That's just what I'm trying to say. You know, I mean, I believe they even have like set of people that design icons for them, so they are that detailed with their stuff. So yeah, leverage on free resources as a designer, free illustrations, free whatever. So digressing a little, so I'm coming back. So this was to simulate a little bit of a drop down to show that okay, you can select this topping or select this um whatever you want to select. Let me see. I think it's yeah. Select the topping and maybe maybe they have like a drink or stuff where you can buy with it. You just select it there. Oh yeah. Then there's a checkout button. I think we need a button here, not the navigation, and there will be like some sort of a back button here. If we were to go through this little wireframe I created, we'll see that there are a lot of things that I missed out, and that's like the design process because design goes through a lot of iteration. Like I can tell that in some places there's no like so that's how there's no like back button in some places. So that's how design is. Someone says like, oh, you missed this out, then yeah, I'll go and correct it. So I don't think I need the navigation. Shift and select. You select multiple stuffs, and you can choose to turn on and turn off layers. That's what the eye icon here is. So this one is for locking it. Once you lock it, you can't mistakenly move it about. So those are some little nice things that the layers have. So yeah, turn it off now. Going to turn it off now. So I think we need a button here. You can always copy from your previous designs and paste. Just click Control Copy. Click on the frame. If you click on the frame and paste it, it's pasted at the exact same position where it was on this frame. Let me do that again. I copy it from this frame and I paste it at the exact same position. So at the exact same position on the same frame, given it is the same frame. So that's just one cool thing about Figma. I remember when Figma started, it didn't have that feature. I used to use Adobe XD, Adobe Pictures, and then I was like, this Figma tool is not, they are not ready. And I like Adobe products because I use Photoshop and this thing. So it was just like a seamless synchronization. So you can easily edit something from XD Photoshop. But I mean, Figma, I don't know how Figma just took out the whole market. Like their tool is the best now. You know, I think couple because it's free and a lot of people want to like learn it from the beginning. You know, that's why Figma took the market. So this is where I'll stop for the class for the wireframing. So now I'll just go into like prototyping. It's just basic prototyping, not advanced. Basic prototyping. So what you want to show your, so we're in the design tab now. On the right sidebar, there's design. When you go prototype, you click on prototype. This is where you prototype. You know, see. Now when you want to prototype, after clicking prototype, you select the trigger. What triggers the prototype? So it is this. This is because this is simulating a button. So once you click it, you can see that this thing changed, the properties changed. Let me do that again. So we're in design. Design the prototype. Prototype. Click here because that's our trigger. The button is our trigger. The button is our trigger. So when I click the button, everything on properties change. So then I click to drag to where I want it to go. So I want to go to this next screen. So I click to drag it here. And you notice this thing popped up. And it's asking me what I want. When do I want this to be triggered? Is it when it is tapped, or when it is dragged, or while it is being overlaid, or while it's being pressed, or key slash gamepad, like a key on your keyboard, a mouse enter, mouse leave. I'm not really sure what this one means, but I think it's when you are moving your mouse around it. A touch down, a touch up. It has all its meaning, but one of the most you'll be using is the on tap and the on drag and while hovering. But you can play with the rest or Google what it's used for. So once it's clicked, it navigates to, or you can open overlay. Open overlay is like a modal. It's used mostly for modals. You know, overlays are used mostly for modals. But what I'm just keeping this to the basics. So don't if you don't fully understand what the rest are for, we are just sticking to the basics. So we are navigating to, that means we are changing the page to what page. Okay, that's why it's important to name your layers to the verification page. You can see my frames are being shown here. So the frames are recognized as pages. So I don't know if anyone has a question with what we just saw now. Let me hear from you guys. You have a question? Does anyone have a question from what you just saw? I can see someone's hand here. You can unmute and speak. Olaoluwa, let me hear from you. Oh, it's Olaoluwa. Olaoluwa, are you raising your hand for a question, or that's just a mistake?
I think that hand has been up since. I don't think he has a question.
Well, just for the sake of explanation, I'll go over the process again because this is like one of the most important. Prototyping. So design, prototype. I told you inspect is for developers. This is where they come to play and hang out and go in depth in your design. So prototyping. I click on what I want to have the trigger, then I drag it to where I want it to go. So drag it here. This is where I want it to navigate to. So there are different triggers: on tap, on drag, while hovering, while pressing, game keypad. Like if you press a key on your keyboard, or maybe a gamepad, mouse enter, mouse leave, touch down, touch up. After delay does with time, and you can also choose none. But we are not choosing none. We are choosing on tap. So on tap, it navigates to. You can open overlay. I told you open overlays. Overlays are used mostly for modals. back is to go to the previous. So when you untap, it goes back to the previous. It's usually used for like back buttons. So you can use that one for back buttons. But what we are doing is navigate to. Navigate to what? You know, I told you the importance of naming your your frames. As you can see, there are two home pages here. You can see we can't really tell which of which is the home page. Which of which is the home page we're talking about. So let me rename that. It's meant to be the menu. This is meant to be the menu. This is meant to be the item page. Single item page. So click on this, and navigation is instant. There are different kind of animation rather. And animation is instant. It could dissolve, it could smart animate. Smart animate is where the fun is, but we are not going into it in this for this class. This is where you like do some basic UI animation, you know. So move in, move out, like push, slide. These are just like self-explanatory, but smart animate is where the fun is. But we're doing an instant. So once the person types in his number, he clicks here, instant. The same with this. So we just drag it, come here to confirm all of your all of your settings. It's yes, it's when it's on tap, it's navigating to the home page and it's doing it instantly. Then we are going to do for this one. On tap, it navigates to the item page and it's doing it instantly. So on the toolbar top here, when you click the play button, this is how you prototype. This is how you view your prototype in Figma. So let's just do that real quick. Before we do that, I want because it's going to start. Okay, it's going to start from here. So this flow is like you may have like let me show you what this flow is. You may have like several sort of animation on your page. This flow is like segmenting your animations into like your prototype rather into they're just like dividing them. So you may want to show the onboarding, you may want to show the ordering flow. So for this one is it's the onboarding flow. Let me just name it onboarding flow. To start from the splash screen when the person launches the application. So we just click it and drag it to where you want it to start. The splash screen usually works with an after delay. Like once you open Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever application you love using, after you click the splash screen, you do nothing to go to the next page or to the navigation page. So what we are doing is after delay, not on tap. So what's the trigger? Our trigger is what? After delay. After delay of 800 milliseconds, navigate to onboarding. I think 800 milliseconds is too much. It's too small. Let's use 1 second so you notice it. So and it does it instantly. So by the time I click on play, but before I go, does anyone have any question with what you just saw? Or let me just go over that after delay again. Like I explained, after delay it deals with time. Like when you open Twitter, after you open Twitter, you do nothing to go to your home page or your onboarding page. So after delay, once you click on it, you select after delay, you select the time, it navigates to the onboarding page. So let me play it so you can see it. Onboarding present is somewhere at the top on the toolbar to play. It's going to open a new tab. So just give it a little bit time to load. So let me start again. Did you see it? I did nothing for it to change. I think it's too fast. Let me increase the after delay time. So I'm going back to my after delay. So increase the time to like 3 seconds. That's 3000 milliseconds. So when I restart, wait for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. It moves. Do you see that? So that's what after delay is for. 1, 2, 3. It moves. So our next trigger was to click. As whenever the user types in his phone number. His phone number we're asking for. So when I click, instantly it moves to the next verification page. Then after clicking after putting your verification instantly, it moves to the next page where you see all of the details. And our next highlight point is here where you click, it moves to the next page. I think this is like really basic. Do you guys understand it? Let me fix something for this back button. Let me fix something for this back button. Let me use to explain the back. Typing the back button, I will come here. I don't want to go too much in depth into prototyping, but you click here, you add the prototype by clicking here. Or you can click here to add an interaction. So on tap, what do you want to do? Do you want to navigate? Do you want to open overlay? We are not navigating, we are going back. So depending on wherever we are coming from, it's going back to that place. So that's the reason for this back. So this is how it is. This is how they do it. This is how they show it to us. Yeah, and you can just the way we drag it from one frame to another. If you try to click and drag it, this thing comes out automatically. Let me do that again. Once I try to click and drag it, it comes out automatically. No matter what it is, if I try to click and drag it, or if I paste it here, it means I want it to go back whenever the person clicks here. But no, it's only for the back button. Want it to do like that. So back. Let's go back to our prototype and we start it. 1, 2, 3. It opens the next page. Then next. Select this one. If you want to go back, we go back. So that's pretty basic stuff. Basic low fidelity prototyping and wireframing. And as you can see, you can just use this to explain to wherever your idea is and the person gets it already without like investing so much time in choosing colors or creating your design system or whatever. It's just basic wireframing. There are even other several tools for wireframing, but it's just better to keep it simple, doing it in Figma.
Please, do you have any questions? So Timothy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
I think there are questions here. Or am I
All right.
wrong? You have a question, Yewande?
Yeah, I think Yewande has a question, but Olaolu's hand has been up since.
Okay, let me
Yewande,
start.
what's the question?
Yewande, do you have a question?
Okay, I have a question. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
What about apps that you have to scroll down for? How are you going to navigate through it since it's just showing a single page on the screen? You know, there are some apps you open, you have to scroll down and there's a lot on a page.
That's a very, very good question. Very, very, very good question. I didn't think we were going to go over that here, but let me show you since you asked for it. So we have to like create more space. So I'm going to leave my prototype tab to go to my design tab because what I want to do now is design, not prototype. So design. So here it is. Say we want to like want to scroll down on this page. What you do first is increase the frame. So click on the frame and drag it down. Then drag it down. I'm going to be making some mistakes intentionally so that you learn from them. So I've dragged it down now. So let's go to the prototype. Let's go to the prototype. So this is the page, right? Then if I begin to scroll, you see it's going, including my navigation bar is going. Can you see that? I need a response. Can you see my navigation bar is going?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes, we can
so,
see it.
all right. So what I want to do is that I don't want that one to move. I want it to be where it is. So what I did was I grouped it. I grouped the navigation. I told you how to group Control G. I can ungroup it now. It's ungroup. And I grouped it. Then there's a part here that said fixed position while scrolling. Fixed position. I clicked it. So let's see how it reacts. So while I scroll, see my nav bar doesn't go anywhere again. Can you see that? I need your response.
Yes, can see it.
All right, cool. So what I want to do now is that you can see it's just plain. It is plain, like there's nothing there. So what I want to do is now like add more stuffs. So like this one now, I've already grouped them. These are like some items on our menu list. So what I want to do is I want to duplicate the items or add new items of some sort. I told you just duplicate. You hold the Alt and drag. So I'll duplicate it. It may look messed up like this, but the time you scroll, you see. But yeah, one other thing I can do for my navbar is to add a background to it so that it is not like it's transparent now, like you can see behind it. So what I want to do is add the background to my navbar. So I go to the group inside of it, then add some like rectangle inside of it. Let me turn off this layer so that it doesn't disturb me. This layer so it doesn't disturb me. So what I'm doing now is adding like a white background in my white. So give me a minute. I think everything should work really nice now, really well now. So look at this. Can you see it now? You can scroll now easily. Can you see it now? I need a response.
Yes,
Yeah.
All right.
we can.
So
We can.
Yeah, we can see.
yeah. So that being said, that being done, I think that's the end of what I have to show you guys in the class. Yeah, you can just go to the flow and decide to wireframe. Wireframe the checkout. Ingredients adjustment is under the menu. Like once you select one, so this one deals with more details. So like you may just keep this one. You can wireframe the baskets. You see the list of selected items. So I think I even did a design. I sketched it here somehow, some way. You can just choose to wireframe. This is not like the latest sketch, but we're just trying to put my idea down. Neater than this. Profile. You can put a profile. You can wireframe the profile tab yourself. Just do it yourself. Just try. Just use it to test your skills. You know. Just try. I mean, that's the way to learn by trying it out, playing with it. That's the way to learn this thing. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys here. Is there any question?
Yeah, please, I have a question.
All right, go on.
Okay, so concerning the question about scrolling that you want to ask earlier.
Yeah.
So is it necessary for in such a situation like that we add like a scroll bar when designing, or is not necessary?
What do you mean by scroll bar?
Like if something like a line at the side where you can just take your mouse to and drag down for the page to scroll instead of using the scroll button on the mouse.
Okay. What you're saying is like, well, first off, if you are designing an application, you do not
Yeah.
need a scroll bar like
Okay.
an application. Like when you're using Twitter, you don't see a scroll bar.
Yeah.
But for like maybe you're designing a website, you may choose to do it if you're that skillful. But I don't advise you do it. I don't
Okay. Thank you very much.
advise you do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
It's a browser feature, not like a design feature. You get so. I think Kwafa wants to ask a question. Go on.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, clearly I can.
My question is on that scrolling of a thing. If you look at that
Alright.
homepage, the aspect whereby those menus will be scrolling to the left hand side, or to the right hand side. Yes.
Yeah.
Those menu is that menu? Those deals on top, that
Yeah,
like for example, when you look at the Jumia app, those menus on top that shows, yes.
Horizontal scrolling, right?
Yes, the horizontal scroll.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how does that one works?
How do you
And
put that?
the space for it, like those column, when you were scrolling upward, you had to create some other tabs for them. Like you have to create some other boxes for them for more options. Why those ones that scrolls to the left and to the right? How do you go about it?
Okay, so that's like a little bit advanced prototyping, but when I say advanced, I don't mean it's hard. I mean it was not in the scope of this class, but I can try to do it for you. I can try to do it for you to show you how it's done. No longer I've done it, so I may be a little rusty on it. But first of all, I know Figma. Before we use Axe and cheats to do it. Before Figma created the horizontal scrolling feature. Before there was no horizontal scrolling feature, like so what you do first is make it a frame. Select two of them. Make it a frame. How do you make it a frame? You select two of them. Shift, then right click, then frame selection. And once you frame the selection, you go to the prototype tab. Once you go to the prototype tab, you can see overflow scrolling, no scrolling. You can select horizontal scrolling. So look at that. Look at that. Look at this warning. It says for scrolling to work on this frame, the content needs to be bigger than the frame. Let me start again. Let me start all over again so that I'm sure you missed something. So what you do is select both of them. Select both of them. Right click and make it a frame. So once you make it a frame, you switch to the prototype tab. Overflow scrolling, no scrolling. Change to from no scrolling to horizontal scrolling. See the warning comes out. The warning says for scrolling to work on this frame, the content needs to be bigger than the frame. What you do now is that this is the frame. This is the old frame you created. This box, yeah, this old box is the old
Okay.
frame. What you want to do is now make it smaller. You can see the warning is out. So now let's go to the prototype page. You can see it's scrolling now. And you can see if you notice, yeah, it's scrolling now. Scrolling now. And I can choose to clip content. It cuts out the excess. Do you notice that? I need a response. I need to hear a response.
Yes,
If I click,
I get you, sir.
yeah, so if I can, it's gone like that.
Sorry, so can you recap? I didn't get that.
From which part?
Okay, you said we are going to review this, right?
I can't hear you clearly if you
From
can
there.
microphone well.
So you said we are going to reduce the boxes now. That's where I got.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
What she's trying to say is that she's confused with the aspect whereby you said we are going to reduce the boxes.
I can't remember the frame part. Okay, let me just restart from beginning. So it is all. I said you select the both of them. And when you select, you right click and make it a frame. Frame selection. The shortcut is Control Alt G. It's going to be different if you're using a Mac. So I've clicked frame selection. After clicking frame selection, I'll switch to my prototype tab. After switching to my prototype tab, I select from no scrolling to horizontal scrolling. So after selecting horizontal scrolling, it shows a warning that for scrolling to work on this frame, the content needs to be bigger than the frame. So what I'm doing is I'm going to reduce the content, the frame. The frame is different from the content. The frame starts out by by holding the whole content, but I can now shift it because I want it to scroll horizontally. See? And I can choose to clip it, like cut it out. Like I don't want it to show. I don't want it to show beyond the borders. Like if you can see, there's some sort of border I'm keeping. There's some sort of border I'm keeping like this. So I don't want it to show beyond this border. Now go back to my design and click content. Yeah, it will clip it away from the border. And I can now scroll horizontally like this. But I think it's good like this. I really think it's good without clipping the content. So you can see that you can scroll horizontally. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, sir. I also have another question. My question is that the aspect of those frame that are scrolling horizontally, like how do you set the number? Like, for example, now if you want just only three three frames just scrolling and changing as time goes, and if you want to still increase it, but yeah, now you can just see like it's only three that is just scrolling. So I want to know if there's a
Wait,
thing we
you said
can do
if
to
you want to
it
increase
to
the number of,
in,
say if you want to increase the number
like
of these things that's scrolling, is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
okay, that's two. That's two. It's just two that is scrolling there.
Yeah. If I want to increase the number,
Yeah.
it's just simple now. I just add more stuff. So look at this now. It's a frame. Look at, I'm opening the layer of the frame now. There are just two boxes there. I can just choose to add more by duplicating Ctrl D. I've told you how to duplicate with shortcuts. Ctrl D duplicates it. Look at the layer carefully. When I click Ctrl D, another one adds, and the frame is still within this thing. But you can see 1, 2. There's a third one,
Yeah.
and I'll move it. I'll move it to like the edge, like the edge. Just that you won't be able to see. You can just have like a little arc just to see it. You just expand this stuff like this, but sometimes it gets really rusty when you do that. But yeah, I can just like, I can also select 3 of them and just, let me bring this one back. The distance between this one and this one, because you want to maintain the distance. The distance between this one is 16, so the third one should be also, third one should be also 16. Let's bring it back a little bit. Select 3 of them like this. I can select 3 of them like this and just center them, distribute them horizontally. So I've added one more to it, so you can see 3 of them are there now.
Okay.
And just to add more and add more and add more, but just make sure they are just tiny, like the distance between them is just equal. So I think I've answered your question. Let me change the colors.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
It's visible. One is red, one is blue, and the other is green, so that is more visible. You can see that it's 3 of them that are showing. So yeah, that's why I changed the color of this, not for any other reason, so that it's visible. All right, guys, I think,
Okay, sir.
does anyone have any more questions? Because we've gone like 2 hours, going on the 3rd hour. Barry, is Barry here? Okay, maybe he's dropped out of the call. All right, guys, that is all for today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. You can watch it over again and just play around with it. I mean, that's the way to learn things now. By playing with it, using it. Yeah. So Malaysia, if I got your name right, do you have a question? So just
Yes. So
right.
is this meeting recorded? I kind of came late. I had to
Yeah,
order
it
a
is.
video.
It is. It is.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I will be sharing my slides immediately after this class so that you guys can go through it immediately. So we are not having to wait for a very long time to go over the slides. So yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for attending this class. Yeah, that's all. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you very much.